gentlemen, we Punt Pals where the game begins. Betting on sports with our expert spins. From football fields to courtside drills. Punt Pals Podcast, we pay the bills. Punt Pals, no bid and play. Join us now every sports day. Tips and picks, they never fail. Punt Pals Podcast, set yourself.
Yes, hello, it is Punt Pals Podcast. Welcome back for another week. I'm Robbie Vaughn. This is Nick Ristovic. Hello, Nico. How you going there today, mates?
Great, man. Back in the studio. It just feels a little bit nice, doesn't it?
Doesn't it feel a whole lot better? Not lugging around some portable kit and getting crappy sound. This is elite.
Yeah, I can imagine you locked up in the basement at your house trying to cut it all together after. We're back in the 21st century, mate. The sound effects are back and we're up and about, aren't we?
Mate, we're in the 22nd century now, and it is awesome. Now, we do have a big show ahead once again. Just before we get into it, letting you know you can follow us on the socials at Punt Pals Pod on the Instagram. Nick has finally logged in today, and he's been doing a bit of work there, so go check out his preview, which he'll run you through a little bit later as well. We've got TikTok, we've got the Facebook group as well, Punt Pals Podcast. You can search that on Facebook, and of course Spotify is our main place where you can listen, but also YouTube and Apple Music or Apple Podcasts as well. So there's plenty going on, plenty of multis, plenty of tips. I think it's going to be a big show, my friend.
It is, mate. We've got a blockbuster agenda here to get through. And I guess the best place to start, mate, is just to rip into how good we were on the punt last week, really. Shameless self-promotion. What do you reckon?
I think that is absolutely the best spot to start. And you were excellent. I mean, I have to admit, I didn't go back through too many of my bets. I know I got a couple up, but your racing tips over the weekend, sensational.
Not too bad, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, I've gone back over your receipts from last week and I've put a few key plugs in here for you too. So you were in good form too, great man. But I was obviously a busy weekend, mate.
Yeah.
Bunbury Cup Day. You did say it was going to be hot. And, mate, it was probably the hottest race day I've ever experienced.
I was thinking about you on Saturday, Arvo, because it was bloody hot at home. I went to the Wildcats game, and I was just thinking before I left, geez, Nick's going to be boiling at those races. How was it? Did you sweat your ass off?
Mate, it was hectic. I mean, I got there in the old long sleeve shirt and nice blazer.
Oh, well, good on you.
Well, you know when you commit the blazer early and you're sweating underneath and you just like,
Yeah.
well, I'm committed now.
Did you run like a linen or something, or did you go full wool blazer?
Went a linen number. A lighter number. It was more safari style. But, mate, it was off. The jacket was off. Let's put it that way.
I bet it was.
It was 30 bloody 5, 36, not a breath of wind. And, mate, let's be honest, after a few frothies, the guests were getting a little bit inebriated quite early before the quad even started, mate. So it was a big day.
I can imagine. What were you doing there? Were you running a tent or something? Or what was it go?
Bit of MC work, mate, running the tent.
Oh, this guy.
Giving out shit tips and just doing what you usually do on a race day, just swanning around, doing some trophy presentations and a bit of that sort of gear. So it was good, mate. Enjoyed it. Had a good time. Hung out with the old folks and brother went fishing Saturday night too, which was a nice little dovetail after.
Beautiful. How the hell do you fit in fishing when you've got one kid here, one on the way? Man, like there's got to be a point where I just go, you are the man. How do you keep pulling this out?
Just don't sleep, mate, really. Just high-functioning ADD, I think. So got back Sunday morning early and put that family time back into your point. But it was a good weekend, man. And how about you? Because I saw you again on the socials, pretty active.
Yeah, I got around a bit this weekend, mate. So I went to the Wildcats game on Saturday night, actually, which was awesome. I was a bit of a late call-up. Lana, my wife, was working there as an MC, so I thought I'll go and have a watch. And it was really good, mate. The Cats were down by about roughly 10 points at halftime. And then by the time the game finished, they were up by 18. It was sensational. I'm going along this Saturday, by the way. So
yeah, this was a play-in tournament, wasn't it? Just to make the finals, isn't it? So now they make the Kings, I think, in the semis.
I don't really get this play-in business. It's play-in, play-off.
Well, I don't know. Everyone's doing it, aren't they?
Get it consistent,
Wild
guys.
Card, play in. How do you even keep up with them all? But the Wildcats, I thought they were out after they lost that first game.
Yeah.
And then, suddenly they're playing for another chance at it at home. So good lesson for the punt. They don't back them that first game. They didn't need to win, did they?
That's exactly right, mate. Get them on that second game, second chance. They made the most of it, which is good. Also went out to dinner at Posta Motto, which is in Chewett Hill. Very nice there. I would recommend it. Lovely pastas sitting outside, and played X-Golf in Balcatta on Sunday, a mate's birthday. So we went out there for 2 hours. Geez, that time goes quick.
Yeah, bar's pretty close by too, handy, isn't it?
Oh, mate, there's a bar part of it. It's brilliant.
Oh, good.
Have you been?
I have dabbled in a bit of ex-golf on the East Coast, mate.
Oh, nice.
Well, the weather's so nice here. I generally go and do the real thing, but
Yeah.
how
Same.
was it? Well, good. How'd you hit them?
Smoking them.
Yeah?
Smoking them. Don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I was absolutely pounding them much better than what I normally would on course.
Those golf lessons from yesteryear are paying off.
Old
finally,
Richard Brain, yeah, he got me. He got me going nice.
So, do you have a little tournament there, mate? Just talk us through it. Did you?
Oh well, we played for 2 hours. So we played. What hole did we play? What course? One of the fancy ones. Royal something. I forget. I should know, but anyway, I forget. Anyway, so we just played for as long as we could for 2 hours.
Yep.
And eventually it just cuts off because they go, that's all you paid for. But had a couple of beer towers, had some food. It was great.
Good. So where was that? Where was ex-golf?
Balcatta.
Okay, cool.
There's a
Down
couple
your
around there.
local hood, isn't it? Balcatta?
Yeah, bloody oath, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Local hood. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
I'll be expecting the invite shortly, mate.
Yeah, we should go do it. Punt Pals Podcast trip. Maybe we just get all the crew involved as well, all our listeners that we love. So that would be cool. Anyway, what's on the show today, mate? I think there is a lot going on after round 0.
Mate, it's going to be epic today. I'll tell you what. Back in the studio, we worked through the official start of the AFL season, which really is this weekend, isn't it, Robbie?
It is this weekend. I tell you what, though, I bitched and moaned about round 0 and how they should just do round 1. Scott Pendlebury touched on that if you saw. But it was an excellent round of footy. Like, to start off the season, it was very entertaining.
Couple of good games. Just missed that WA influence, really.
I know.
That's what kind of felt like it was a false start.
Yeah.
So we're fired up this week because we've got more games to work through, which we'll be diving into in detail today, as we normally do, mate. We've got our bets from round 0, which we're just going to be screaming from the rooftops. All the talking points from the weekend's AFL. And your F1 gear last week, mate, has been trending because not only did you pick the winner, you've also picked the rest of the best.
Best of the rest?
Best of the rest market. And it's just going viral, mate. So we're going to talk about the F1 action coming up. All the trusses and don't trusses for your same game multis, and we officially launched the 100 to 1,000 challenge today, mate.
I forget how we said that was going to work, so I'm looking forward to you running us through that one, to be honest with you. It should be good. It should be very good. But let's jump into listener questions to start off with, mate. And do you know what? I mentioned that I went to the Wildcats before, and I'm going again this week. So we're going to start off with yours straight away because someone's written in for you. This is Dillo from Bunbury, and he said, Wildcats, any chance of beating the Kings? And if so, why?
Ooh, I mean, I am a parochial Wildcats man, as you know.
That you are. You sent me a picture of yourself today with a big bit of memorabilia in the background, actually. That was impressive.
Mate, I bleed red, let's be honest. But
I
think the Wildcats are pushing it uphill against the Kings.
You reckon?
Well, I think the Kings are $1.27 and the Wildcats are at about $3.80 in an NBL game, which is pretty high in terms of odds.
Was it about the same last week, even though the Cats were at home? Because no one was picking them against United.
They weren't. It was probably more evens. I mean, Sydney have just been dominant all year.
They're good.
So I think the answer there is they are a chance. They're always a chance. But it's going to be tough. You've got to play a best of 3, I think, series. They're going to play twice in Sydney. So we've got to take care of our home court. Somehow manage to steal a win away from home against the top-seeded team who have Kendrick Davis running the point, who, of course, was the runner-up in the NBL MVP.
Yep.
So there's a lot of factors to consider. I would say that if the Wildcats can try and quell the influence of the likes of the gentleman I just spoke of, Kendrick Davis, they can keep him off the 3-point line and they can draw some fouls early on some of those crucial players. You know, any team's a chance of knocking any other team off on the night, but they have a lot of scoring and offensive power, do the Kings. So that's where I'm concerned. So they can always win. They're definitely a chance, but I'm not keen to take them at 380, mate, away from home on Saturday night. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's tough. And even if they do win, they've got to come up against Bryce Cotton by the looks of it, who drained 42 last night.
Just this lazy 42.
At the time of recording this, actually, the game should be getting underway, I reckon. It's about 4:10 on a Wednesday, and the Wildcats are playing in Sydney tonight or this afternoon, one of the two.
Yeah, they are live at the moment, mate. And then they obviously head to Perth on Saturday for game 2. And then obviously we'll go, depending on whether it goes to 3, it'll go back to Sydney again. So that is the nature of the NBL. You do get home court advantage, best of 3. And good luck to them. I hope they can cause a massive upset, but I'm not keen on them from a punting perspective, Robbie. That's for sure.
That's fair. All right, next for you. This is from Macca. From Chewett Hill. Cabalis has been announced as a starter for the Quokka. should I be getting on and why? Good question from Macca. Who's sponsoring Cabalas? Like, whose horse is it? Do we know?
Bjorn Baker, obviously, is the trainer.
Bjorn Baker.
And then it is a slot, I believe, for Sportsbet, I believe.
Sportsbet. Okay, cool.
In the Quokka, of course, the $5 million race here in Perth, mid-April. So,
Do you pronounce it Cabalas? I actually... I follow horses a bit, but I don't know this horse.
well, look, mate, we tend to obviously just pronounce them how we like, really, don't we?
Yeah, and that
on this
works
show.
for me.
So it's actually representing Ram Racing, should I say?
Ram
Cabalas.
Racing. I love Ram Racing. They'll probably win. I'd be getting on it for that
Big,
alone.
Exactly, mate. I mean, to your point, they have a rich history here of winning the first two editions of the Quokka with Overpass. Bjorn Baker's the trainer of Overpass. It's a horse that goes to the front. So does Cabalas. If you watch it on the weekend in the Newmarket, all the spruik was on 10 Tyrus, who was going to get back in the run.
Yep.
Cabalas just boxed on in front down the straight, put multiple Group 1 winners to bed, and got the jock done at 25-1.
Oh, 25-1.
Yeah,
Where was your tip there, mate?
Huge upset. I was all over the favourite. Still trying to get out. But, mate, I think it's going to be a huge chance. Fits a profile. Bjorn Baker, who's been in travelled horses here, has won. It's a horse that races on speed, so it won't have to race with luck, trying to get out of traffic down the straight. Only question marks around, does it go around the right way here at Ascot? Bit of a change up in pace from over east. But it's ticking all the boxes for me. And if you look at the futures market, mate, it's very point of the market. I think it's second favourite here at the moment, about $5. So
beautiful.
The price is gone. I think it's a great bet. And whilst we don't know the rest of the field, now's when you're going to get $5 because when we come to race day, it might be twos, mate.
Love that from you. All right, so it's time to get on the futures right now for Cabalas.
Yes.
And Ram Racing. They bring such a vibe and everything. And, mate, they had overpassed those 2 years and the third year where it didn't win.
Yeah.
So they do pull out the winners. I like it.
They do. And the cowboy hats, incidentally, as well, mate, don't they?
Mate, that is just iconic for the Quokka now.
So away from racing briefly, mate, I've got a couple of crackers here for you. This one feels right in your hitting zone, mate.
Love it.
Good tip on George Russell, says Sam from Mandurah. Last week in the F1, I loaded up, he says. Why are all the cars running slightly slower than last year? I know you talked on some of the rule changes, but it seems like they've all kind of been brought back to the pack slightly. Is it to make it more competitive? What is it all about, mate?
Yeah, so it can be a bit of a complicated answer, but I guess long story short on this one is that they've changed to hybrid motors, so they're 50-50 power this year. Slightly lighter cars. They're a little bit shorter as well. I believe they're about 30 centimetres shorter. It could be a bit more than that. Anyway, with less weight, they've got less ground force, which basically means that they're just not as grippy and close to the road and all that sort of stuff. So they're not quite getting the like the speed they used to have. And there's also another interesting thing about it with these power units they've got now. They have this weird thing where they have to recharge the battery at points. So, but you have to do it strategically. And so all the drivers are still working out where their car is best to actually recharge. So there's points in the race where they're primed for an overtake, but they won't take it because they go, I'll hold back now, I'll recharge my battery, and then I should be able to get them in the next bit where I feel like I can sort of have a little bit of a run at it.
So the battery's being charged by the petrol propulsion side of the motor.
Yeah.
So it's self-restoring, essentially, as they're driving.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And there's one thing that we haven't really seen deployed too much yet, and that's the turbo. So basically, they have a burst of power, but they can deploy it whenever they want. And this will essentially just make them zing past whoever they're trying to overtake. It's really cool. We haven't seen the potential of it yet. One thing about this is that the drivers hate it. Like, they're all bagging these new cars. They reckon they're crap.
Yeah,
but as a spectator, it's so much better.
Yeah, to quote Triggers from Mandurah, the turbo is almost like the mushroom in Mario Kart.
It is! Yes!
What if we get a triple mushroom, mate?
Oh!
Is there such thing as that? I mean, triple overtake.
Well, Oscar Piastri got the banana peel.
Oh, my gosh. That was a disaster. I tried to touch over it, but, mate, absolute shit show for Oscar on the weekend, wasn't it?
It was.
Home Grand Prix.
But that was the charge, right? So they haven't 100% confirmed it, but it's pretty much speculated that essentially he got a little burst of energy and that made him spin out. So it was a lot of bad luck there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We all love a burst of energy, don't we?
We do love a burst of energy. So I think that in a roundabout way answers that question for you,
I
Sammy.
learned a lot throughout there. And Sammy, good work on the loading up on the tip as well, mate. I didn't, so you're a smarter man than me. The second question here, and this is an interesting one. I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this as well. This is Carly from Bunbury. Do you prefer possessions or goals in your AFL SGMs? Carly, keen punter.
Honestly, mate, there's a short answer for this. It's possessions. Goals, I find to be too hard. I don't like putting them in multis. There was a time where I didn't at all. I hang out with you a bit too much now, and I do throw them in occasionally, Nick. But for me, it's possessions because a team can get absolutely trounced, and their best player can still get 30. So
Yep.
I think it's pretty straight. I don't have too much more to add to that
Been
one.
burnt on goals included in your multis? It's kind of
Every
gone shy.
effing week.
Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't even have an example for you because it's every time I put goals in there, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a pretty concrete answer there. Possessions all the way, which I hope you don't look on the fourth page of these notes because there's plenty of goal kickers in there again, mate.
Oh, mate, I'm still going to get on it, don't you worry. We're not talking about logic here. They were awesome. I love those questions, mate. If people want to get involved and shoot us through questions, we really want to see them come through. You can jump on our Instagrams, Fish to Vic, not Fish to Dick.
Yeah, well, I'll cop it too. Yep.
For Nico, and robbie.au for me, or the Punt Pals Pod. Now, man, now that we're back in the studio, it kind of means that we can bring a few little things back that we haven't been able to use for the last little bit, and this, my friend, is one of them.
I can be your hero, baby. Don't be a hero, mate. Heroes of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Do we shelve that one for a reason, or we?
We need our little button bar back, and
How
here
good.
it is. You bloody
Yeah, that's
beauty.
good. It's a good segue into it. And by the way, if you are looking for Fish Dough Dick, it's an OnlyFans account. Subscription only.
Well, I'm glad you're OnlyFans because I think Pornhub and all those have been banned in Australia now. So,
income's gone down, mate.
but you're still available on OnlyFans.
Hero of the week, and mate, we've had a couple of absolute crackers already this year on the podcast. So let's see if we can go to those lofty heights again. Of course, we had Dennis Cometti last week.
Yeah, well deserved.
So we're gonna have to try and bring it up a notch from there, which is tough. But anyway,
Bye,
mate, we've
Dennis.
each got one, haven't we? So
We
let's
have.
rip in. For me, mate, it's hard to go past the man you spruiked big last week. on
I
the podcast.
know.
I listened to him on the way to the studio today, and it was just a Christian Petrarca love fest. And if anyone tuned into that game on the weekend, Rob Stradamus was absolutely on fire again because the man we're talking about is the Insta chef, the social media influencer, the fisherman, which I love now too, and a bloke that just seems to be enjoying the sun on the Gold Coast in Christian Petrarca, mate.
Oh, and what a game he had. He was unbelievable, wasn't he? I wasn't a huge fan of him at Melbourne, Nico. I don't know. I was just a little bit of a detractor of Melbourne in general, I think. But he was amazing.
He was, mate. 34 positives, 3 straight goals, but more importantly, running at 82% disposal efficiency, which is just elite.
It's unbelievable, isn't
It was a Herculean effort, and obviously a few outs in that midfield. Rowley didn't go around, so, how's he going to fit into the mix? Just looked like he'd been there for 10 years, didn't he?
Didn't he? It looked like the plays really got around him, which was great. And I kind of wondered how he'd fit into that mix, just given they had such a good vibe last year. Everything seemed to be perfectly on track, and the culture was nice, pardon the pun. And do you know what? He was perfect. He fits in that side beautifully, and you can see he's going to have a good year. Brownlow talk, do you reckon?
Well, that was going to be my next leading question for you. Gold Coast obviously had a pretty good season last year. They knocked off Freo. They went semi-deep into the finals and then probably got found out by the better sides that were slightly better than them, obviously. So,
Yep.
do you think track could be a major difference between them going from, say, 5th or 6th to a legitimate premiership threat or not?
100%. I think the way he played on the weekend and with Rao to come back in, you can't argue with their credentials. They did look really dangerous.
Got to fit all those bulls in the midfield, don't you?
Yeah. Hey, you've still got to get Jamara Ugle-Hagan back in that side too,
Yeah.
don't you? Back in for the first time.
Kicked
That's
6.
unbelievable.
Kicked 6 on the weekend in the 2s.
And apparently he looked Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, so they're going to be a lot better, aren't they? And I think, for me, Track's that polish on the outside. I think Anderson's a good running carry player. Rowley's your inside midfield bull. I think he's the cream on top, isn't he?
He's the cream on top, yeah. He certainly is. So I think it's going to be a really interesting one. Mate, I had 2 that have popped up today, actually. One's just come across my desk. So I'm going to give these 2 really quick shout-outs. So firstly, Bam Adebayo. I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Bayo.
Bayo? Adebayo? Is that it?
Adebayo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do.
Love it. Miami Heat. Now, he was playing against the Washington Wizards this morning. Scored 83 points. Can you believe it? 83, the second most ever in an NBA game behind Wilt Chamberlain's 100. He overtook Kobe Bryant's 81, which you remember was just a huge thing at the time, about 2016. It wasn't his final game. He got 60 on that game, but man, I still remember just watching that on the blogs live in my radio studio when he did that. So for Bam to be able to do that, amazing. What an effort, eh?
Mate, must have taken about 50-odd shots, had he?
Yeah, he must have.
They piled on 153 points, I think, Miami too. What
Crazy.
A score.
That's so nuts.
A bit longer than the NBL, obviously 12-minute quarters versus 10, but that's still, as you said, mate, a Herculean effort.
Don't know if you saw. Did he do the old write it on a bit of paper and hold it up? You know, like the 83.
He should have.
He should have. Bloody
Missed an
hell.
opportunity if he didn't. But he's a beast, and he has been a good player for a long time. So I like that from you.
Lovely. And the other one I wanted to bring up because I just thought this was brilliant. I got texted it just before I came into the studio, mate. And this goes to Jai Caldwell of the Essendon Football Club. He's a hero of the week. I don't know if you've seen this, but apparently he bought Zach Merritt a Hawthorn jersey signed by Jack Ginnivan for Secret Santa. Now, I think this is just the ultimate sledge between mates. We all know what happened in the off-season. So for Jai Caldwell to come out and just completely bake Zach Merritt, I think it was pretty funny and it would have taken a lot of the tension out of the situation. So, Jai Caldwell, we salute you.
Yeah, that's elite. Well done, Jai. I think we got a round of applause sound effect or something for Jai there, mate.
Yes, I think we do. Well done, Jai Caldwell.
Nice, yeah. Give it a hat to you, mate. There's always a few people unlucky to miss out in Hero of the Week, isn't there, Robbie? I just wanted to throw a little asterisk out there. Also, really love Sam Doherty's expletive rant about the Blues, which has been doing the rounds this week. I love the rawness of it, the passion, and all the swear words that were throughout as well.
Love it, love it. And you got to feel for him because that was an accident. And I will give Dan Gorringe credit here. He did actually release that. He put it on his podcast. Sam Doherty's been baked by Carlton, but he is coming out, Gorringe, and saying, no, that was me. You should leave Sam alone.
Yeah.
It was a private convo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they barred him from the function on the weekend, haven't they?
Apparently.
Jesus.
But can I ask you, and we don't have the replay, and we're not going to go through exactly what he said, but you've heard the audio, obviously.
Splendid.
Was there anything in there that was untrue?
Nah, I think if anything, he's just calling out the mediocrity and where they've been for the last 3 years. And he
Exactly.
saw exactly what he saw in prior years as a player on the field in round zero.
Yep.
And you can't argue with him, mate. They were elite in that first half, and then they just got blown away in the third by 12 goals when the heat was on. So he's obviously been inside those four walls, so there's no one more educated to form that opinion than him. So I hold it in the highest regard, and I love just the absolute mongrel around it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it's Risto's roast sort of style.
It really is. All right, mate, that's Hero of the Week. Do you know what? I'm going to play that again because, I mean, why not?
Nostalgia.
I can be your hero, baby. Don't be a hero, mate. Heroes of the Week.
Yes. We're back.
All right, let's move on to the footy, mate. We did have round zero over the weekend, and we're going to go through the headlines game by game, mate. What stood out to us? Kick it off with Sydney and Carlton, which we did just touch on there after Sam Doherty's expletive laden roast.
Well, essentially, mate, I'll summarise it very quickly. Blues look promising in the first half, as they sometimes do in the early half of the season, and then they just absolutely shit the bed in the second half, mate. 12 goals to Sydney in the third, which I think is the highest number of goals kicked in a quarter since about 1993 or something stupid like that. They just couldn't do anything to arrest the momentum back. Charlie kicked 3 against his former side, which is the big story going into the game, and the Blues just really stunk it up, mate, in the second half.
As a Bomber supporter, it's great to see that some things don't change.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's nice to just lay the boot into the Blues, isn't it? So, yeah, Bossie's done the pump already, and we'll work into the preview for this round coming up soon, but you'd hate to see them, 2 terrible losses in a row.
It is a chance, though. All right, let's move on to the Gold Coast game because, let's be honest, this was epic. They got off to a great start, a 56-point win over the Geelong Cats, who made the grand final last year, remember? So we were expecting big things, but as we did touch on last week, teams that lose the grand final by over 40 points do struggle. So it's going to be an interesting watch for the Cats. We've talked about Christian Petrarca. He was absolutely elite, which was amazing. Ben King, you said he'd kicked 3. He saluted. It was basically flawless punting from us. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're 4 from 4. You said to give yourself a bit of kudos, mate. You said Petrarca 30 plus, no problems at all.
Big tick.
And that was I mean, what was it paying, mate?
I'd love to give myself a tick. Something like that,
It was rough, right?
Yeah.
First game in.
It was paying decent.
If you just took a Petrarca same game with him to kick a goal and a 30 plus, you probably found $5.
Yeah. I reckon he'd probably average. I haven't seen his average, but based on his Demons work, I reckon you're talking probably 25 generally. So he has.
It's a nuts, eh?
He has jumped up there.
It was just a great shout. And obviously, there was a bit of value around for Gold Coast too. So, like, if you took him head-to-head, you rolled in Ben King for 3, you put Petrarca in your multi, suddenly you're looking at $10, $15, mate, which in round 0, that's good going.
That is excellent. And I'll tell you what, we won't dive into this part of it yet because I know in the previews we're going to be talking more about Gold Coast, but I think there's a lot of value for the Gold Coast Suns this week. Just saying. Hawks GWS.
Yeah, mate. We were both torn on this game, weren't we? I was at the Hawks, you were GWS, and you got the Chockies here, mate. GWS saluted by 27 points, which was pretty flattering for the Hawks considering they kicked some late goals in junk time, really, to make it look like it was a close game. So I tipped the Hawks. I thought GWS's injuries would be insurmountable. You went with the GWS and you got the Chockies, mate, head-to-head in a game that we weren't really keen to play on, were we?
No, and I just had the feeling about Hawthorn that they just don't have the midfield possession getters. Newcomb was out, and there was a few guys that got 20-odd, but... yeah, I just think they lacked there against the GWS. And we didn't even really consider Clayton Oliver.
Bobbed up, didn't he?
Yeah,
Big
we
game.
didn't think about him too much, but he was a pretty good replacement for Tom Green.
Big game, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly what they needed. And admittedly, he talked about how he came back pre-season a bit fat as well during the week. So a few Melbourne fans coming out saying, well, that's the sort of culture we have at the Demons. That's just a bit of a hangover. So there's been some interesting commentary around that. But he was impressive. Still need to win a few more games for me to feel like they can cover those injuries, but it was a great start.
Shit week if you're a Demons fan. I mean, seeing Petrarca and Oliver just dominate, not
rough.
good.
It's rough.
Brisbane and Doggies, this was a great game of footy. It was absolutely epic, and it was probably a surprise result. In the end, 5 points there to the Dogs. I think they were about 30 points down at three-quarter time, so this was big. I tipped Brisbane, you tipped the Dogs, so we've got a little bit of a reversal of roles there. 274, were they?
Yeah, 15 all, mate.
Woo!
You scored the first point, I scored the second. I was very keen at 274 on the Dogs. I thought
Yeah,
Brisbane
you
were
were.
like Geelong, slow starter, short pre-season, all added up to a Dogs win. And I was nervous at three-quarter time, but just purely played on the head-to-heads here, which was a good result at 275.
Shout out Bailey Williams. His goal where he dodged 5 Lions was pretty epic.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
That was a quality, high-scoring game, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it was. I've never seen anyone just keep dodging like that. Usually they try and pass it off at some point, but it wasn't to be.
No.
The Pies and Saints. Now, this was the game that we were all going, what the hell? It's round 0. You're supposed to be highlighting New South Wales and Queensland footy, taking on the NRL a bit. So weird that they had the Melbourne game, especially after the Grand Prix. And the other thing that we didn't consider because we're over here in WA, Monday was a public holiday in Victoria.
Yes,
so they
mate.
could have held that Monday and extended the weekend.
Strange,
Anyway,
wasn't it?
It was odd. But the Saints just couldn't get the job done there. I questioned the new recruits. I thought they were overpaid and probably not going to deliver. Can't say I was wrong, really.
Humble pie again for those who disagreed.
Yeah.
And the one example I thought which was typical of what you spoke about last week was Sam Flanders.
Yes.
So found the footy, probably saluted in most multis getting his, 25 plus. But when he had the footy going forward, Robbie,
What did he do with
you
it?
can see why Gold Coast potentially left him out of that midfield mid because he was just kicking up the chimney, mate.
Yeah, butcher.
Sitting it on head. So he butchered it, and I think that was the story of the game for mine. They just could not find a target inside 50, even though they held Collingwood to, say, 50 inside 50s for the game.
Yeah.
Collingwood just chipped through their defence, 150 uncontested marks for the game. So the Saints were happy to sit off, guard space, which is a Ross Lyon typical zone. And the Pies went, no worries, we'll take the short kicks and go straight through, boys.
Yep, and that was it. So, I mean, that was the round 0 results and what we saw, all that sort of stuff. It was a great round of footy, but I do get a little bit more excited for round 1. Oh, hang on. before we go any further, do we want to talk about something that happened at $6.21?
Well, it's better than bank interest, isn't it, mate?
Oh,
6.21.
it is.
Yeah, I've just fired up my chair a little bit here on the other side. Look, the goal kickers multi.
Look at him ruffle those feathers.
We had some heartbreakers last year with the goal kickers multi.
Yeah, every bloody week.
Things like Watson missing, 0 goals, 3, and we had him any time.
Yeah.
But finally, mate.
Finally.
We put one together. Ben King, too. No problems at all. Ben Long in the same game, anytime. The two Bens. No problem at all. Easy watch. Jesse Hogan, your man. Tick, bang. 2 goals plus. No problem.
Lovely.
The Wizard. Kicked a couple, anytime. No problem. Oscar Allen in his first game. Did his best not to kick one. Sorry about that. He had me sweating, but he got it done in the end. Sam Darcy kicked 2, and we went bang at 6.21, mate.
Mate, very well done. 6.21. Love that. And here I was bagging goal kickers in multis before. This was a goal kickers multi, and look what you've done.
Exclusively. But we won't tempt fate for too many weeks by throwing them out there, mate. So we'll mix it up again this week.
Beautiful. All right, racing tips review. So you were all over this. I just was not across racing last week, to be honest. So that's why we've got you. And it was good.
It was good, man, for the most part. I got my bets on early and didn't actually get to watch much racing. I was busy laying turf and all sorts of things you do as a dad on the weekend, so
What a
family
guy.
time. Tipped a few last week. Tipped Pride of Jenny, a horse we've got a lot of time for, and it went out early. Didn't go as far in front as we thought it would by 10. It was only in front by 3, and they caught it down the straight, came fourth, I think. So that was disappointing, but we did tip Jolly Star, which won at 240. We did tip She's Alibi, which saluted at 245. The two we missed were Giga Kick and Pride of Jenny. Giga Kick ran a really good race. Didn't suit, really, in the run. And obviously Jenny, who didn't salute. So 2 from 4, and the prices for those other two at about $2.50 I thought was pretty good going because they were into bloody $1.80 on race day.
100% they were. And you actually did multi in Jolly Star and She's Alibi.
Yeah.
So you got that at about $5.
Yeah,
so that was nice.
Wasn't too bad, mate. Yeah, I just think She's Alibi is one to follow quickly if you're going to take some tips out of the weekend. Jolly Star's low flying. And don't jump off Jenny. I think that might be the cobwebs that she's blown out there in that first race back after a bit of a short spell. And that's what she does. Next race comes out, wins by 10, and you think, why to jump off her? So I'll stick with her anyway.
I like it. Yeah. I think Jenny come out of retirement. Was it last year or the year before now? I forget.
Last year.
Yeah. Ran last spring.
Yeah, and won some good races again, didn't it?
Yeah. So Jenny, don't get off her yet.
No, you can't get off her, but there are some really good races coming up, so we'll talk about a few of those a little later on as we rip into, of course, mate, the part we've been waiting for the best part of 6 months is the Round 1 AFL preview.
The real deal. All right, let's start off with Thursday night. Traditional season opener. Well, it used to be. Now it's not quite that. Carlton, $1.36. Richmond, $3.15. How are you seeing this game? What are you betting on?
Ooh, mate. I think the Blues just have to get the job done here.
Yes.
I think reputation damage after the Sam Doherty spray in the second half, capitulation we spoke about earlier in the week. I think, geez, mate, they've just got to get it done here. I think Richmond's inexperience plays into the Blues' hands, but I think it's going to be a closer game, mate. I think you talked much about the Richmond last year and how they can pull a few good games out of the bag once those young guys gel, and they could well and truly gel in this game. The only thing I'd say is just that extra week of football playing in round 0.
Yeah.
I think we'll see. Those teams that have already got one game under their belt just have a little edge on some of the others that haven't played yet.
They've warmed into it. It's a very good point. For me, I was just kind of thinking, Richmond won this game last year. I remember sitting in an airport watching it and then thinking, Jesus Christ, how the hell is this happening? The Tigers youngsters, they're very plucky. Carlton on struggle street. I'm actually going to predict that this could be another nail in Michael Voss's coaching coffin here. If they go down to Richmond this week, things aren't going to be great around Princess Park, and you never quite know what's going to happen. So I'm going to tip Richmond.
Or you could also get the 4 points and only just scrape by Carlton against Richmond, and the nails being hammered slightly in already.
Yeah. It won't be wonderful if that happens, put it that way.
I just think, without going into too much depth of the game, a Thursday night game between the Blues and Richmond. Is that where we're at?
Yep.
For round 1?
Apparently.
It would be nice to see some teams in contention, but anyway.
But it's been it was the traditional opener, and do you know what? Even if these teams were down the ladder a bit, it was always a decent game. But yeah, we're getting some blowouts now. It's not great.
Yeah, well, we're a bit biased over here in WA, aren't we?
That we are.
They are big, two powerful clubs, so I'll see where the AFL's headed with it. But I can't imagine it's going to be a spectacle.
No. No, not this Thursday. It will not be. But we'll be watching. We'll get pizza or something and we'll watch away and we'll be texting and all that sort of stuff. So it could be worse. Footy's back, even though it's not the greatest game ever.
Yeah, let's skip over it. Friday night's when it's really back, isn't it, mate? Your Dons in action. Friday night football on centre stage, and they're a big price, $4.45 against the Hawks at $1.21. How is this going to go, mate?
I think this is a very interesting one, mate. So I'm not just going and tipping underdogs all day, but I really do think watch Essendon here. So the one thing about the Bombers you will notice, and you can look back over our history of the last 10 years, we start well. We come out of the blocks hard, and I think that the Bombers are going to prove that is a current trend. It's still going against the Hawks. They'll shock Hawthorn. Hawthorn are going to be very arrogant about this one, I think, and Essendon will pull off a bit of an upset. I have heard a few rumours that the Hawks crowd are going to boo Zach Merritt, which when I heard that, I thought, what the hell is going on there? Zach actually tried to go to the club. It was Hawthorn and Essendon between the two of them that couldn't get the deal done. To be honest, the Hawks never really tried. They only put a deal forward. I think it was 48 hours out. So I don't see why anybody is booing Zach Merritt. He has done nothing wrong, and it's actually pretty ridiculous. So if you boo Zach, you're a bunch of dickheads.
Yeah, I think so. Well, this is going to be affectionately known as the Zach Merritt Cup.
Yeah, it will be.
Zach is up for grabs, and I think probably my thoughts on the game are a little bit contrary to yours. I think that extra game again last week will play a role.
Yeah.
I think the Hawks forward line, they're big, man. They're hard to kind of get a hold of, really. If you talk about Chol, he'll bob up at occasion. Gunston kicked a bag last week. You've got some dangerous small forwards in Ginnivan and Wizard. I just think their firepower forward is going to be a lot for Mackay and a bit of a suspect Don's backline to try and manage. However,
I'll accept your logic.
However, I don't think they should be at $4.45. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Merritt, if he does get the boost, comes out, has 30, kicks 2 in this game, and just reminds the Hawks of why they should have put more draft currency on the table for him, mate.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting him to be one to watch. There's a couple guys I'm also really keen to see. Archie Roberts will go into the midfield. He played down back last year. Big fan of him, mate. I think him to rack up 20 plus at $1.22 feels like something I can build a multi around.
Well, he does it with his eyes closed off the half back, so in the midfield he should.
Oh, he's going to be busy, mate. No doubt about it. And I think it's time that they inject those guys in. So I think the ones I cannot trust, though, and it's kind of always really been the case, is just that Hawks backline. If the ball's not spending much time down there, Amon and Impey, who just seem to be 30 one week and 15 the next, they're still not in my my bankers, mate. So they're the two I just would be steering a little bit away from in case it is a blowout. But more than happy at the head-to-head to take Essendon with, say, 25-point head start at a couple of dollars.
Hello. I like it. I'm taking them on the nose, which is probably a bit erratic, but that's all right.
Nah, that's how we punt.
That's right. You got to have a bit of fun with it. Now, doggies $1.36, your boys. You were very bullish on them last week. And the Giants $3.17. Now, what are you expecting out of this game?
I'm expecting the Dogs midfield to come out on top. I think they just have too much quality through there. If you allow Ed Richards, Bontempelli, all Libba to get off the chain, they're going to do some massive damage. And I think that's where GWS are lacking cattle. So I think purely on the midfield game, Tim English is in ripping form as well, by the way. He goes under the radar.
Yeah.
He at times looks probably a little bit casual, but he's a very good tap ruckman, and I think it's going to suit him now with the throw-up. So Darcy, I think, will have a big game in front of the sticks. Bont, Libba and Ginger will rack them up in the middle.
Ginger.
And then the one guy that I just cannot get my head around at the moment is Aaron Norton.
Yeah. Big Norton, Norton.
If I was at the sales, I'm horse racing here. If I saw Aaron Norton going through the parade ring, he looks like a star elite colt, doesn't he?
He does.
But he plays like a Shetland pony, mate. It's like super quiet in the state of origin. You're a massive unit.
Yeah.
Fly at the ball, mate. Like that's your one string to your bow is a big contested mark. And sometimes I think he plays like a half forward flanker waiting in the ground for others to do the job like Sam Darcy. You got to fly, mate. Play like a beast. You are that size. That's how you need to play.
That said, mate, when it comes to my take on the game, I've actually got him in a multi here, which I'll go through in a minute. Because I think this is a really interesting game. And it's probably one of those ones where the odds don't reflect the teams after what we saw out of the GWS last week. And I think if you're putting a multi on this week, this is the game to get involved with. This is the best betting game for the entire weekend. So here's what I'm going to take. And this is a bit of a multi without notice, but I thought I'd throw it in there because it feels good, right? So Clayton Oliver, 25 plus. Aaron Norton, 2 goals plus. He's done that the last 5 weeks that he's played, not including State of Origin. Matthew Kennedy, 20 plus. Finn Callahan, 25 plus. Lockie Whitfield, 25 plus. Tom Liberatore, 20 plus. Tim English, 15 plus. And Bailey Williams, 15 plus. It's 8 legs. It's paying $9.25, and I'm telling you right now, take that to the bank.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll be happy to take it. Sans Norton out for Darcy. But you have kept your receipts on Norton. He's kicked a few goals, but I'm telling you, mate, there's some games last year he's gone from 4 to none.
Yep. And I don't disagree with you there, but I'm just looking at his last 5 games that he's played, proper AFL games.
Yep.
He's done it. He did it last week.
Okay.
I don't disagree with what you're saying about his game style, but he's been getting those goals on the board, and he's going in me multi.
Well, 9.25 is very nice, mate, for 8 legs.
Could I also just say that's the only goal-kicking leg? So what we talked about earlier, if that's true, I've stuffed myself.
Be good to snip those 2 bits together.
Yes.
I don't put goal kickers in, then Norton goes goalless, and the multi goes down.
Whoops.
It's the irony in it, really, isn't it?
It really is. All right, mate. Cats 149, Freo 263. Nick, this is your side. The Purple Army won't be out in force because this is away in Geelong. There might be a few supporters there, but not many. How are you feeling about the Dockers this weekend?
Well, I feel like the pressure's all on Geelong, really.
Yeah?
They didn't perform well last week. I think they were found out they were slow starters, and I think, to be honest, Fremantle Underdogs going over to Geelong, where they've got a pretty good record, it feels like a nice little start for Freo, to be honest. Question marks over Hayden Young. He's got a hamstring still, potentially a leg injury or a sore shin, I believe. So
he's very injury prone, isn't he?
I think they should put him on ice for this travel over to Geelong, and I think they should keep him fresh for home.
Not a bad call.
But yeah, you've talked about this a lot. Free have a good record over the Cats, and they've won finals over there. They've won big games.
Yep.
So it won't be daunting for them to go over there and get the win here in round 1. I think the Geelong backs is probably where I think they'll struggle a little bit. So the big 3, Amos Tracy and the Prancing Pony, I think they're going to feature in front of goals heavily. I think Hayden Young out means Sarong Brayshaw and Murphy Reid will spend more time in the middle. Less rotation. So there's extra minutes, there's disposals to be had, Robbie. And I know I've been on and off Amos, but if you've seen him in the preseason, he's been going very, very well, mate.
I've heard he's looking Mickey Mouse.
He is.
Yeah, put on a bit of size.
Big kahuna's going up the ground, leaving a bit more room. So they're actually pretty potent down forward. So Murphy Reid coming off a 30 posse game. He's 17 for 22 plus possessions early in the week. This is early mail. Yes, bloody please.
Yes, get around him.
I'm taking it. So my multi in this game, Freo to win, Murphy Reid 22 plus.
Love
Very
it.
odd number, but you can get him with the blue mob.
Sports bet, yeah.
Geordie Clark 20 off half back against his former side. And the big kahuna 2 plus, 350. I think it's just a nice little builder, mate.
Love it from you. Now, it's interesting that you did mention Freo's record in Geelong. They've won 3 of their past 5, I believe. So I did look up that stat before. So that's a good start for Freo. They have been slaughtered down in Geelong in the past, but they've also had some pretty miraculous wins. So
Won a qualifying final there, I think, 2 years ago as well. Yeah.
Yep. So it's a bit of a happy hunting ground.
So where's your head at with it, mate? Man.
So, it's hard to say. Like, I think the Dockers...
They were your premiership tip 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Kept the receipts, but...
Tough to... I know. No, I'm sticking with it. But I don't know. Round 1, having to travel to Geelong, I think they can get the job done. I think it's an excellent chance to make a statement.
Yep.
And, yeah, I'm going to tip Freo, maybe with a bit of a head start, but I'll definitely take them. Now, you mentioned him before. I am on the same guy, but I'm taking a little bit of a different tact with him. So Murphy Reid, from all reports, he is looking sensational. Apparently, his preseason has been brilliant, just like you said. He's looking a bit bigger. He's dominating. He's getting positive. He's kicking goals. Last 5 games, he's kicked at least 1 that he's played in. And if he's stepped up again... Murphy Reid, anytime goal, $1.65. If you can put that in any of your multis, I think it's a great bet. So that's the one thing that I'm going to be holding over and putting into any multis this week.
I'm going to put Murphy Reid in mine on top, the 350 multi, I'm going to chuck him in at 165 to kick goal as well as have 22 plus.
Love it.
Take
There
the
you
550
go.
now.
The Murphy Reed special right here on Punt Pals Podcast.
The best read in WA, mate.
Oh, ho.
Sorry, the other guy in the blue and yellow.
It's what, Ethan? No, that's Gold Coast. Who's the other Reed? Archer Reed.
Harley Davidson.
No, Archer Reed.
Archer Reed, yeah.
That's the West Coast Reed, isn't it?
That's who I was talking about. yeah.
Harley Davidson.
I won't get out if you're alive. Say Murphy's better than Harley. But at this point in their careers, mate, I'm telling you, Murphy, he's building a big tank. When he goes in the midfield, we'll see the best of him.
Yeah, he is very good. I do agree with you there. All right, mate. Let's have a look at Sydney, Brisbane very quickly. The Swannies $1.47, Brisbane $2.68. Any multis or any thoughts on this?
I think Brisbane should bounce back. I think these are the games that they generally respond in. If you look at their record, they've won 9 of their last 10 matches as an underdog following a loss.
Yeah, okay. There you go. That's a good stat.
They're a proud side. They don't have McCluggage, but they bat very deep, mate. Cam Rayner goes in there. Charlie Cameron's been going through there. Fletcher goes in there, as is Levi Ashcroft. I mean, it just goes on and on. They've just stacked everywhere. So I think this is going to be an absolute shootout, man. I'm expecting a high-scoring game. I'm also going to take the total line over 188.5 points and Brisbane at the line, which is plus 14. Ooh. So total game score over 188.5. Brisbane to have a 14.5 point head start at $3.30.
Love that from you. So I think this is going to be the game of the round. I think the GWS Bullies game was the game of the round for punting. This is the game of the round for pure footy. We're going to see super high possessions, as you say. I think the numbers are going to be big. So really take your pick as far as multis go for 20 plus and 25 markets. Premium midfielders is where you're going to look here. Ashcroft, Neal, Zorko, Goulden, Heaney, Mills. Get on them where you feel appropriate. I think they're going to be the ones.
Mills, he was pretty good last week, wasn't he?
He got 25 odd, I think.
They really missed him last year, didn't they? So... quick score check. The Cats lead the Kings by 5 points.
Good from you.
Fair. So we'll just keep you abreast of what's going on there.
Interesting one here. Collingwood $1.70, Adelaide $2.16. How are you seeing this game? What do you reckon?
This is tough, mate. I just hate not seeing teams in the prior week.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm going to get from Collingwood.
Yeah.
But the Adelaide are the unknown commodity, and I think that's why the bookies have got them at $2.16 at a fairly safe price in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I'm pretty bullish on the Crows. I think they look overs here at $2.15. I'm not sure you can read into Collingwood's win over the Saints last week. 50 inside 50s. They got really lucky. I think the Saints butchered chances. So, if anything, I think it was flattering for them. And also, maybe that's just my deep bias against Collingwood coming out. But I think the players I'm banking on, Jordan Dawson will get busy, mate, won't he? Nick Dacos is going to be a lead again. 41 posies last week. You could have him and his brother to go 25 and 30 respectively every week.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't, however, think this will be a high-scoring match. The last 6 matches have gone under the total game points line, which is 172.5 here, and I reckon it's going to go under again. Adelaide, bit scratchy off the mark. Collingwood, not a big scoring side.
Good from you. I tend to agree as well. Adelaide seem to be a bit of an unknown. Haven't heard much from them at all over the off-season. They were good last year, yes. Can they back that up this year? I mean, it was pretty heartbreaking the way they got bundled out in 2 in the finals after finishing top of the ladder. So my gut's pretty much saying take Collingwood at $1.40 straight up on the nose. They were good last week, and in front of a home crowd, they should get it done. So for me, Collingwood at $1.70, I'll be taking that to the bank.
Can't argue with that logic. And one guy that gets not a lot of plaudits would have to be Darcy Cameron. He's a really good ruckman, man.
He's really stepped up, isn't he?
His tap rucking, his contested marking around the ground. I just think he's a really important player for them and just doesn't get the credit he potentially deserves. So I'll throw Collingwood a little bit of kudos there. I think Geordie to go, he was good last week too. So now they're looking a little bit more set in that midfield. I think they probably are a little bit better than I maybe gave him credit for. But I still think Adelaide are going to give him a red hot smoke this week.
Darcy Cameron, a good WA boy as well.
Yep.
Mate, the Melbourne 247 Saints 154 game, it's a bit meh for me. You got much interest in this?
Well, we've got North Port first, actually. We better cover.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. That's also a bit meh.
Do we have to? North $2.42, Port Adelaide $1.57. I don't know who could win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if North upset Adelaide in Josh Carr's first game. I'm not keen to play. The only thing I'll be playing with is Nick Larkey. End of story.
Nice. The only thing I was thinking, right, is Jai Simpkin actually at 20 plus. He's paid $1.47. So I think my rationale between Jai Simpkin had a horrid off-season. He was the skipper, tried to get out of the club. He couldn't get away. They've kept him. He's lost the captaincy, but he's stayed at the club. And I think he's got a lot to prove. So I think he's going to come out of the blocks pretty hard. He's probably not going to go through the midfield. That's why I'm not taking him for 25. But I think if he's playing off half-back, he should be able to accumulate 20. So at $1.47, thank you very much.
Yeah, I like that. And you said Zach Butters will have a field day here as well in a uncontracted year at the end of this year.
Yeah, he's paying $1.28 for 25 plus. Can't see him not getting that.
I think he's going to have just a ridiculously good year.
Yeah,
They always do
right.
when they're out of contract. I feel like regardless of who they play, you just bank him for 25 most weeks and you'd be in front at the end of the year.
Yep, exactly right. I mean, it's going to cost us a lot, but he's going to look good in red and black in 2027. Wishful thinking.
Early futures markets there by Robbie. I like that, mate. That's wishful thinking, but I do enjoy it.
You never know. Sorry to skip the North and Port Adelaide game, but we'll go to Melbourne and Saints now. What do you reckon?
Well, a couple of stats here on this one. I couldn't really place these two teams again. Melbourne don't really know what they're going to bring. Entirely new list and completely new looking midfield. Melbourne has won its first half versus Saints the last 7 times these teams have played.
Really?
So whether the Melbourne have gone on to then lose potentially, but they've been leading the first half at least, and they've been mostly low scoring, scrubby affairs. The last 5 going under the total match line. So the only thing I'm really interested in, 2 key talking points from this game.
Yep.
Does the next crop of midfielders for the Ds look good? Are their high draft picks starting to develop in the way that we would think they would be? Mm-hmm. Where I think the Saints will have the edge with Naz and some more seasoned midfielders going through there. And I think probably the Saints, having a look at it last week, plays a big role here again. I think they probably win. And I think Naz is probably going to have 30 plus because they won't have a tagger on him. The best they've got is Rivers, but I expect him to really bounce back in a big way this week.
Yeah, it's a pretty good call from you. I don't have a lot more to add. I think Nazai Wanganeen-Miller is an interesting watch. I'm off him for all betting at the moment, just simply because, I don't know, last year he had 8 excellent games, like superstar style games, but he didn't put a full season or 2 in together as a body of work. So he's very highly paid, the highest paid player in the league, I believe, $2 million-ish. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pressure on him to perform. And I don't know, he's getting a lot more attention. Be interesting to see how he deals with it. And I think until we sort of get a better idea of that, let's just jump off him for now, in my opinion. So that's probably my big take out of the game.
Yeah, 30 plus, you can't even really, can you?
Oh, no. I'm not touching him, but 20 plus is an interesting one. He should be able to equalise against the Ds. The one thing I will say about it is that Collingwood are a known team not to tag, and they put a Harry Perryman on him. So that was unexpected.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a bit of foxing going there from McRae, which is a good shout by you during the week.
It was good.
One guy, actually, quickly, really looking forward to seeing, and I think has been overlooked in this entire mix for Melbourne. I think Jack Steele's got a really important role to play as a senior midfielder with lots of games of experience.
Yeah.
The bookies, I reckon they priced him wrong, mate. $1.45 for 21 plus for Steely.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Like, he's going to have to lead that midfield, and I reckon they're going to look for him as leader on the ground, and I think that's going to basically direct the footy in his direction. So I think $1.45's overs for 21 plus. I think Steely's going to rack up a lot of posies this year, and he'll probably be a lot shorter come next week. So that's one market I was really keen on the play on.
I reckon that's really good from you. He's kind of a forgotten man, but you're right. He's going to be the big banana in that midfield, I would have thought.
Got squeezed out, didn't he? The former captain. It was probably one of those stories that flew under the radar here in WA, but to see him go to another rival side in Melbourne at the end of his career was a bit of a weird one for Melbourne.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but it's interesting also for him that he's coming up against his old side in the very first game he's playing for the Demons.
Tear him a new one, I reckon.
Yeah, at least he gets it out of the way, I suppose. That's one thing.
They love him big games, don't they, against former sides?
Oh, yeah.
Just
Charlie.
A big one for him, isn't it?
It really is. Gold Coast, 101 versus the Eagles, $19. Mates, is it going to be a bloodbath? Is this what we're looking at here?
Is there a more extreme term than bloodbath? Could be an ocean of blood.
It could be an ocean. It could be the Indian Ocean.
And I think the Eagles' backline is going to part like the ocean, and Gold Coast are just going to pile it on like. I mean, we saw it last week, right?
Yeah.
Against a better side. $1 for Gold Coast, Robbie. Give me a spell. Eagles $19.
Yeah.
They'll close markets head to head for Gold Coast at this rate.
They'd have to, wouldn't they? No one's putting any money on them at $1.
Well,
that's pointless.
It's pointless, but like I can't remember a market like this for a long time. We looked at some last year, they're $1.04, $1.05, and we laughed. $1.01.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an absolute belting at home for Gold Coast. Ben King's going to kick a massive bag. 4+ at 2.15 feels unders for mine.
Massively.
I think it should be 2.15 for 5 or 6+, not 4.
Yeah.
Humphrey coming off 4 last week, 2 goals at $1.63.
I like that.
Ching, thank you very much. And Petrarca 30+, your boy at $2.13.
Take it. Take it.
Why would you not take more than $2 for Petrarca 30+, mate?
But then do they rest him a bit? Do they go, you're good, Christian. We know what you're capable of, but you're a tad older. Let's rest the body.
Well, 5 on the bench.
That's
now,
a danger.
No subbed anymore, so you could be right. They could be reduced minutes game too, but I think Petrarca's the kind of guy that's just going to be showtime in this game.
I think you're probably right. Basically, I just think any Gold Coast gun, chuck them in your multi. It's going to be one-way traffic, going to be ugly. Only thing I'm thinking which might be interesting for the Eagles is Elliot Yeo's supposed to be back in the side. Teams aren't finalised, but I was seeing an interview during the week with 96 FM where he said he's pretty much good to go. So I wonder how he's going to fit back into that side, and will he be firing at all cylinders from the get-go, or will it actually take him a while to kind of work his way into the game? So it will be interesting to see how Elliot Yeo goes.
Yeah, watch him in the intra-club, and he's playing more the inside midfield role rather than that dynamic outside of contest role he was playing a couple of years ago where he could bear from stoppage.
But that's what they need, so Harley can
100%.
shine a bit.
Yeah, mate, I think he's going to play the role, and I reckon, I'm equally as excited to see him go around.
Yeah, it's very much needed from the West Coast Eagles, because you even saw when in Harley's first year, not so much last year because Yo didn't play much, he really did shine when there was another big banana. When Harley is a 19, 20-year-old and he's the number one guy, it's just not fair. So
no, definitely not, mate. I think, definitely they need some more depth through that midfield, hence why they brought Graham. And I think the captain's going to play down through there a little bit this year as well.
That's good to see as well. I quite like Baker, Liam Baker.
Sean Baker can kick it out. Maybe goes to midfield. He might be a 25 and not a 20 this year.
Yeah, he could be. Because he was pretty consistent on the 20s, actually, Liam Baker. You could almost... was it last year or the year before you could set your watch to it?
Yeah, last year. Yeah, 20+. And
yeah, it was last year. It was his first year, wasn't it?
So
and Cripps to kick a goal.
Oh, exactly. It's going to be a massive round of footy, obviously round one. Both WA teams back in action. The Dons back in action and plenty of value head-to-head. So I'm looking forward to hopefully having a few wins, Robbie. But, mate, away from footy slightly, I mean, the F1's Drive to Survive. Everyone's just gone crazy for it at the moment, mate.
They don't sound like that anymore, actually.
Do you feel a bit ripped off that you felt like you were an avid F1 supporter, say, a decade ago, and everyone's just jumping on now?
No, not really.
Happy
I like
for
it. I like it. It's good. It means you can talk about it around the office and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. No, I think it's good.
Yep.
I actually think it's really good.
So you're going to give us a wrap of Melbourne, and then you've got some plays for this weekend, which the fans will be tuning in closely because you were on fire last week, mate.
Yes, and I think we'll go through the wrap pretty quickly because most people know the lay of the land. Now, I've also got a blog on Tab Touch, mate, so you can read that if you want a little bit of more of a detailed summary. But Oscar Piastri, we saw it. It was the worst. He crashed out before he even got to the grid. It was the warm-up before the race. He just... We talked about it earlier in the pod. He just spun out. Like,
did he qualify well as well, didn't he? Third fastest or something?
He qualified. It was about fifth or sixth.
Was
he
it?
qualified.
Okay.
Yeah. So, mate, he was a chance in the race, and it would have been interesting to see how he went. Yeah, we're just so unlucky at home, the Aussies. I don't think we've ever had a podium at the Australian Grand Prix.
Really?
Yeah, maybe Jack Brabham or something way back in the day, but recently, no.
So that's a big sucker for the seasonal fans that tune into F1s when the Aussie Grand Prix is on.
Yeah.
Don't back the homegrown hero. Get sucked in.
Yeah, exactly right. And I don't know if you saw the crowd on TV or anything, but the collective lull of the entire orange and green crowd was pretty sad to see.
Yeah, it would have been, mate. It would have been.
Devastated.
Yeah, bit of excitement taken out of it before the, as they'd say, the first bounce, really.
Yeah, before the hometown hero got to even put his foot down on that throttle. Mercedes dominated. We saw that. We expected that. They were just too damn quick. George Russell, absolutely flawless, his drive on the weekend. Kimi Antonelli, we weren't sure exactly how he'd deal with the new cars, being a young guy, only 19, but He was awesome in the first race of his second season. So he is going to be a threat to George this year. Red Bull Young Guns were very quick. Now, Isaac Hajar qualified third in the Red Bull. He was amazingly quick. He crashed out in the race, unfortunately. And Arvid Lindbrum. It's actually a hard one to say. He was awesome, man. Lindblad, I should say. He ended up coming 8th, and he just looked the goods in that Racing Bulls car. Schooled his teammate Liam Lawson. So that was great. Ferrari were quick.
So you've had a look at it now.
Yeah.
Week 1. So now you're feeling like you're just sort of starting to get an idea of where they placed. And Russell, by the way, Mercedes cars you said would be good. You're getting some reason odds for them last week, whereas this week they're a bit shorter, aren't they?
Yeah, he's $1.70 to win now, which in their car, it's hard to see him getting beaten. The only person that probably could is Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah, chuck them in with Gold Coast at $1.01 and boost their up.
Can you imagine if West Coast were the ones to kill that?
Oh.
But my plays for this week, mate, I'm going to keep it very simple. George Russell to win. I think he's just too quick. Unless there's a crash or there's something that goes wrong, you can't see him losing. That car just powers out in front of everybody else, that Mercedes. So in that same vein, Kimi Antonelli should come top 3. Now, this is an interesting one, and it actually screwed me on the weekend. I was looking for an interesting market, and I found Mercedes to be leading after the first lap. And I thought, that's paying $1.70. And it could be either of the two drivers, so I'm going to take it. As it turned out, we didn't know this because the cars are all new, and we're still learning. Ferrari are lightning. Absolute smoke off the starting blocks. When lights go out, they fire away. And we've learnt later, it's because they've got a small power unit. Okay. So it spins quickly and powers up quickly. Yep. And, yeah, man, it was crazy. So I'm going to take...
$1.70 was gone in flames.
See you later. Yeah, Charles Leclerc he qualified 4th and just weaved through the pack. Bang, he was out in front. It was unbelievable. Yeah, so I'm going to take Ferrari to be leading after the first lap, but this is pending a good qualifying result. So don't put that on yet. Wait and see how they qualify. And if it's good, get on them because they just power out. Arvid Lindblad as well, best of the rest. He was second in this market last week. Ollie Behrman, who we tipped, won it at $3.50. But I think after his debut, where he got the lay of the land a little bit more, he's going to be confident, and I think it's him who is going to be the best of the rest this week. That's it.
Hard to argue with that, mate. I'll be honest. It's a pretty comprehensive review, and I think those top 3 markets I spoke about last week, you put a few in there now, so... If you do like those box trifecta markets, you've got 3 or 4 good mail tips there from Robbie in the Grand Prix this weekend.
Hello, love that from you. All right, mate, $100 to $1,000 challenge. Now, give us a quick explanation how we're doing this again. I forget.
Yeah.
Which is my bad, but we're going to turn $100 into $1,000. That's the long and short of it.
Yep. So basically, the way it works is you cover the 100 every week, just you alone, and you continue to reload if we no joking.
Body bags over here.
Basically, the way it's going to work, Robbie, is we're trying to build 100 into 1,000.
Love it.
And we're looking at odds around $1.80 to $2.05 is the hitting zone. Okay?
Yeah, and so what are we going to do? Are we going to take turns each week of doing this, or are we going to put a leg in each, or what do you want to do?
No, we're taking turns.
Righto.
So, I'm obviously just risking the 100.
You're opening
Once we
the
get
batting.
it to 200 next week, the pressure's on you, mate.
So are we
Double
betting
the
it
pressure.
all, or are we betting in units?
Betting the whole thing, mate.
The whole thing. So 100 first up. Okay.
Yep. So when we get to 1,000, we're going to have a little cash out.
Yep.
Of some description, and then we're going to play the rest and trying to get it up to something massive.
Right. And so we're going to start off by putting $50 each in a bet with mates account or something?
Correct.
Okay.
That's how we're going to do it exactly, mate. I mean, we'll take the logistics offline in terms of the investment strategy. But Gold Coast, I think they're going to beat West Coast handsomely, and I've taken them at 51.5 plus points at the line.
I like it.
$1.43.
Hard to see that not happening.
So what I tried to do, I reckon Dogs versus the Giants was the only one I thought I'm pretty confident on, at $1.36 head-to-head.
Yep.
And then I had to just keep stretching that line with Gold Coast to find $2, which I have at 51.5 points. So 2 legs, very simple. Gold Coast are going to flog West Coast by 52 points, and the Dogs need to beat the Giants at $1.36. Easy, right?
Beautiful. Yeah, simple.
So then we walk away with $202, and then your challenge is to get it to 400-ish next week, mate.
Oh, my God. No pressure there.
Well, you've had 2 rounds to look at them.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. No, don't you worry, mate. I'll have it covered. Okay. So for our $100 to $1,000 challenge, Gold Coast by 51.5.
Yep.
At $1.43. Dogs head-to-head over the Giants, $1.36. Give us $2.02.
That's it, mate. And we don't need to have 5 or 6 in a row. And we're already at the 1,000. So
Yeah, it's pretty mad if we can get it done.
Could be the only tipping show to get it done in a long time, really, too.
That would be cool.
It's nice to have the wood on some of those more seasoned professionals in the space.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool. And the reason I didn't give you week 1, because I knew you would have just chucked it straight on the Dons.
You know it.
At $4.55 or something. $4.45.
Yeah, 100 to 445 in 1 week.
And that's why we haven't yet retired. Great, man.
All right, mate, to finish off, we're just going to do some racing best bets. You have been working hard here. Odds obviously aren't out because it's pretty early in the week. As we sort of said before, this is only Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
So, mate, lay it on us. What are you thinking this week?
The bugle. Oh, so familiar. Look, the prices have just gone up. So right in the nick of time. Different gravy in race 9 at Caulfield on Saturday is about $6.50 and $2.
Great name.
It wins generally over 1,800. It's in first up in a 1,600 metre race here, but it's just a different class of these horses. The Vobis Platinum Guineas, race 9 at Caulfield, have a crack at different gravy. Mark Zahra rode it to an enormous win last start. It was very big during the spring. Expecting it to return in a big way. So that's my best each way bet on the weekend. I'm taking Buckaroo, a horse we love, mate.
Oh,
Buckaroo.
what a GG.
Just always turns up. And he takes on a pretty weak field here in the Peter Young Stakes here at Caulfield in race 8, which is the race before, obviously, the different gravy race. He's only about $2.80.
beautiful.
But
That's still not bad.
I don't mind a couple of those, mate. I'll be happy to take different gravy for the place at $2 into Buckaroo at $2.80 and get that $6 again.
He's 280 for a reason.
He is, mate, and I think he's going to be dominant. And then the big one that everyone's talking about is, of course, the Coolmore Classic at Rose Hill.
Yes. Come around again already.
It has, and you've had a good record in this race too. So
I have. I haven't looked at it this year, though. It's all you.
Yeah, well, no pressure. You've won 2 in a row. Now I've got to step up. But there's a horse called Savvy Halley, and the reason I like it so much is it just goes on speed, leads them around the corner, 3 in front, and they've just got to chase it down. And if you look what happened in its last run, it took on Tempted, which is a Godolphin horse that everyone was in multis on. It was $1.50, $1.60. And old Savvy Halley, mate, I tell you what, went to the lead, and Tempted had to really dig deep to find a win. And it just got over the line by half a length at $1.30.
Yeah.
Which tells me that Savvy Halley, with no Tempted, is going to beat up these absolute pretenders this weekend at $4.45. So it is my best bet for the weekend. I just think it's well overs. And it's going to beat Lazura and it's going to beat Old Dancer in that Coolmore Classic. But I think it's a class above those.
Love that from you, Nick Ristovic. I'm going to be taking all of those racing bets. Why the hell not? Because your form at the moment is impeccable.
Well, it is, mate. And a quick punting story. I didn't touch on it before. In Bunbury on the weekend, mate.
Yes.
Was just starting to form all the way down south. And threw it all out the window, mate, because the first 3 races are won by horse number 7 at a lazy $14.
Woo-hoo.
So I got to race 3. I'm on the mic. I just sort of said, we'll just rip up the tipping sheets, forget the form, just back horse number 7. And, of course, horse number 7 came up, 777.
It's like the devil's number +1.
It was literally, mate. The 777, all the pokies, it's the gamblers 777, and it got the job done. And if you had to back those 3 in a row, we worked out it would have been 385 to 1.
Oh!
So sometimes the mail doesn't pay off, mate, which is a quick summary.
Damn. Ah, well, that's all right. We'll keep going. The goal kickers multi this week. It's going to get it done, mate.
Yeah, don't forget your Don's one too at $9 either.
Exactly right. That's a podcast, buddy. It's been fun. Everybody get on our socials. Follow us on your streaming service. And, mate, we're done for the week.
We're going to post those up on the socials this week, those tips.
Yes.
Of course, the 100 to 1,000 challenge. Robbie's Don's multi. I'm going to whack up a video, if it's not up there already, of a 36 to 1 jobby over the weekend as well. You might have to grab a coffee to get through, but I think it looks pretty good too. So plenty of good mail. Get around it. Follow us on the socials, mate, and let's win some cash, eh?
Love that from you. Punt Pals Podcast done for another week. See you later.
From football fields to courtside drills, Punt Pals Podcast, we pay the bills.